In early 2025, as political tensions continued to divide America, Donald J. Trump once again found himself at the center of a legal storm. After becoming the first former U.S. president convicted on criminal charges, Trump was now scrambling to do what many believed impossible: erase his criminal record. The conviction, tied to falsifying business records connected to hush money payments, rocked the nation. Supporters called it a political witch hunt. Critics saw it as long overdue accountability. But in a bold and shocking move, Trump's legal team filed an emergency appeal, arguing that the entire case was unconstitutional and marred by judicial bias. Behind the scenes, insiders described Trump as furious, obsessed, and determined. Reports surfaced that he was holding late-night meetings with his attorneys, strategizing new ways to overturn the ruling before the 2026 election season. Legal experts warned that what Trump was attempting, a total record expungement, was nearly impossible at the federal level. But as one analyst put it, if anyone has the influence and determination to test the limits of the system, it's Donald Trump. Meanwhile, public reaction exploded across social media. Hashtags like #TrumpAppeal, #EraceTheConviction, and #JusticeOrWitchHunt began trending nationwide. To his critics, it was a dangerous manipulation of the justice system. To his loyalists, it was the ultimate act of defiance. A man fighting not just for his name, but for his legacy. And as the courtroom drama unfolded, one thing became clear. This wasn't just a legal fight, it was a political war. As the world watched, Trump's legal team unleashed a high-stakes strategy that stunned both allies and critics. The plan? To argue that the criminal conviction violated presidential immunity, a claim no former leader had ever successfully made. At the heart of their argument was a bold interpretation of executive power. Trump's attorneys asserted that any actions taken during or related to his time in office should be protected under the umbrella of official duties. Their filing to the appellate court declared, a sitting president cannot be criminally prosecuted for acts directly connected to his official role, and that protection extends beyond his term. Legal scholars immediately called it unprecedented, warning that such a ruling could rewrite the boundaries of presidential accountability forever. Meanwhile, leaks from inside Trump's camp revealed that the push wasn't just legal, it was political. A source close to the team told reporters, "This isn't just about clearing his name, it's about setting the stage for a comeback." As hearings began, protests erupted outside the courthouse. One side waved banners reading, "No one is above the law," while others chanted, "Stop the witch hunt." In the courtroom, Trump's lead attorney passionately argued that the conviction itself was a form of political interference designed to derail his influence ahead of future elections. The prosecution countered that the crimes were personal, not presidential, deliberate falsifications meant to hide damaging information. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. The courtroom was packed to capacity. Cameras weren't allowed, but journalists' fingers flew over keyboards as Donald Trump's legal showdown reached its most explosive moment yet. Inside, tensions ran high. The prosecution presented emails, phone logs, and private memos suggesting Trump personally directed efforts to manipulate records. Evidence, they said, proved intent beyond doubt. Each revelation triggered murmurs that rippled across the room. But Trump's defense came prepared for a counterstrike. They attacked the prosecution's witnesses, calling them disgruntled former insiders with political motives. Trump's lead attorney thundered, "This is not justice. This is persecution wrapped in legality." The courtroom atmosphere felt electric. Every exchange between the attorneys was sharp, theatrical, and deeply personal. At one point, the judge had to call for order when both sides erupted into heated shouting. Behind the drama, analysts noted a pattern. Trump's legal team wasn't just fighting the case. They were crafting a narrative for the public. Every statement seemed aimed not only at the judge but at voters watching from home, fueling his image as a defiant outsider battling a corrupt system. Meanwhile, social media exploded with real-time commentary. Hashtags like #TrumpConvictionAppeal, #presidential immunity, and #no one above the law trended within minutes. Then came a bombshell. A whistleblower within the legal team leaked that new evidence had surfaced, communications suggesting someone in Trump's orbit may have tampered with digital records after the indictment. Just when the courtroom seemed to settle into routine chaos, everything shifted. A mysterious insider, identified only as Witness X, came forward with classified digital records and encrypted messages that could unravel Trump's entire legal defense. According to the leak, members of Trump's inner circle allegedly attempted to scrub or alter key data stored on private servers just days after the indictment. The files reportedly included call logs, private emails, and even draft statements that were never meant to see daylight. The prosecution pounced. "This is not just obstruction," one prosecutor declared. "This is a coordinated effort to rewrite history." Trump's team immediately dismissed the claims as fabricated political theater, calling Witness X a deep state fantasy. But behind the scenes, panic reportedly gripped Trump Tower and Mar-a-Lago. Security consultants and lawyers were summoned overnight to assess the potential fallout. Meanwhile, news outlets across America went into overdrive. Headlines screamed, "Digital evidence ties Trump to post-indictment cover-up?" Anonymous whistleblower breaks silence on data tampering allegations. Cable news panels dissected every pixel of the new evidence. Some analysts claimed it was a turning point in the case. Others argued it was simply noise in a long political war. Then, in a stunning twist, Witness X agreed to testify, but only under federal protection. Sources said the witness feared retaliation from powerful political figures and operatives. As the court prepared for the testimony that could make or break Trump's appeal, one thing was certain: the stakes had never been higher. The courtroom was silent as the judge prepared to deliver the long-awaited verdict. For weeks, America had been glued to every hearing, every leak, every rumor. Now, the fate of one of the most controversial figures in modern history hung in the balance. Trump sat motionless, hands clasped, eyes fixed on the bench. His attorneys whispered quietly, their faces pale. On social media, millions watched live feeds, hashtags exploding, hashtag Trump verdict, hashtag justice or witch hunt, hashtag America decides. When the judge spoke, his words cut through the tension like a blade. After reviewing the new evidence and testimony presented, the court finds insufficient grounds to overturn the conviction. A wave of gasps filled the room. Trump's jaw tightened. His lawyers immediately filed notice of appeal, vowing to take the battle all the way to the Supreme Court. Outside, the courthouse became a war zone of emotion. Supporters chanting, "Save America," while protesters shouted, "No one is above the law." The verdict sent shockwaves through Washington. Politicians from both parties scrambled to issue statements. Some called it a victory for justice. Others warned of deep political persecution. Cable networks ran split screens, half the country celebrating, the other half enraged. Even world leaders weighed in, with foreign analysts calling the case a symbol of America's internal chaos. But behind the headlines and legal filings, one truth remained. This wasn't just a trial about one man. It was a mirror held up to a divided nation, a nation struggling to decide whether accountability still meant something.